Since international travel is finally becoming a possibility again, tourists filled with wanderlust are looking for unique destinations to really set the benchmark. And for many, the best way to celebrate the end of this terrible period is to check out some of the most haunted places in the world. But what do we really know about these supernatural hotspots? And where will you have to travel to find them? For all this and more, stay tuned. First up on our list is Château de Brissac at Maine-et-Loire, France, a beautiful Renaissance castle surrounded by a wooded area and fantastic green fields. Visit in the day and you'll marvel at the impressive architecture and calming vegetation. But visit Château de Brissac at night and you'll feel an eerie sense that you're being watched. It has been dubbed as the Giant of the Loire Valley and is actually considered to be the tallest castle in all of France, boasting 7 floors of rooms. It even comes packed with its own opera house, which is able to seat approximately 200 people. And if there's one thing we know about large empty spaces, it's that hauntings often follow. So it's really no surprise that this converted hotel has now been designated as one of the most haunted places in the world, and it's perfect for fans of the supernatural who also have a taste of class. You see, the food and service at Château de Brissac is world-renowned, with each room being decorated with lavish period-piece furniture which can't be found anywhere else. As far as hauntings go, the most popular of the Château de Brissac ghosts is La Dame Verte, otherwise known as the Green Lady. According to rumors, she was the illegitimate child of King Charles VII, but after being caught having an affair with another man, her husband decided to murder her in cold blood. She's now seen patrolling the tower of the chapel in a green dress with gaping holes where her eyes and nose should be. Next up is the Monte Cristo Homestead in New South Wales, Australia. Another hotspot famous for its unexplained sightings, the homestead can be described as a late Victorian mansion which was actually built by a wealthy landowner by the name of Christopher William Crawley back in 1876. And when you step through the front door, you'll see that not much has changed on the Monte Cristo homestead since it was first built. Its intricate cast iron lattice work is a remarkable sight on its own, and since the homestead now operates as a bed and breakfast, anyone can book a night there with the intention of catching one of its terrifying sights. In fact, dinner is followed by a nightly ghost tour in which the owner takes you around the homestead and tells you the stories of the ghosts that roam its halls. It also has a somewhat gruesome past, which we won't spoil for those of you who want to be surprised on the tour. Those who have spent the night in Australia's most haunted bed and breakfast have seen a number of things, but the most popular ghost is a young child that passed away after he was dropped down the stairs. There's also a maid that passed away after she fell or was pushed from the second-floor balcony, and in some instances, visitors have even sensed the faint smell of something burning. Not exactly a surprise considering how a stable boy was burned to death in an unruly fire, and that's just the beginning. If you're in for a different experience though, Bangar Fort in India is for you. This ruined fortress in the heart of the ancient city of Bangar is said to be cursed, and entry into the fortress at night is actually prohibited by law. You can easily visit the ruins during the day though, with this being one of the most unique things any visitor of the region of Rajasthan can do. According to reports, the fortress was built in the 17th century and consists of fort walls, bazaars, havelis, royal palaces, and numerous temples, all of which are contained within the ruins that are just waiting to be explored. As an archaeological site, it has been dubbed the House of Ghosts. It's possible to hire a guide to take you through what is considered to be the most haunted area in India during the daylight hours. This is the best way to experience a fort so deeply rooted in history, with the guide having all the eerie details on what took place at the ruins before time took its toll on the area. And as we mentioned earlier, the fort has apparently been cursed so that anyone who spends the night there will never be seen again, hence the inability to visit when the sun goes down. As rumor has it, the ruins are haunted by a wizard by the name of Singhiya and a princess called Ratnavati, who spurned his advances when they were alive. Suffice it to say, Singhiya was far from happy with the situation and ended up dooming the fortress. And then we have Myrtle's Plantation in good old New Orleans, USA, a beautiful little B&B situated in the small town of St. Francisville, but don't be fooled by the gorgeous view of the property during the sunlight hours, as things get rather terrifying when the lights go out. In fact, Myrtle's Plantation has been deemed by Shutterstock to be one of the most terrifying places in America. Arriving on site, you'll find a magical homestead with a stained glass front door that leads into one of the grandest main foyers you've ever seen. And like most haunted places, it has a rather fantastic French crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling, truly setting the tone for what is to come if you decide on staying the night in one of its 12 rooms. If you'd prefer to stay in your own accommodation while taking in the sights though, you could always sign up for a nightly ghost tour and talk about the various stories of the homestead over a fantastic dinner at its newest restaurant. Without giving too much away, around 10 people were murdered in the homestead throughout its past, and quite a few have been known to roam the hallways of the bed and breakfast with revenge in sight. site. The most famous of sightings has been of a ghost that goes by the name of Chloe. She had her ear cut off by her lover and now wears a turban to cover the gaping hole on the side of her head. And according to rumors, she likes to watch guests sleep. Denmark also makes the list though with Dragsholm Slot in Horve. Also known as Dragsholm Castle, this large converted hotel was actually built in 1215, making it one of the oldest castles in the history of Denmark. So it comes as no surprise that Dragsholm Slot is also considered to be one of the most haunted castles in the region. In fact, during the 16th and 17th century, parts of the castle were actually used to house prisoners of a noble or similar rank, resulting in quite a few deaths along the way. But as we mentioned earlier, this is no longer the case. Dragsholm Slot has now been converted into a luxurious hotel with incredible rooms and a Michelin-rated restaurant that is perfect for those who enjoy both style and elegance. Each visit also comes with a historical tour of the building, which often tells the tale of a few ghosts that still roam the halls with vicious intent. According to the current owner of Dragsholm Slot, the hotel is currently home to around 100 ghosts, so the possibility of having a supernatural experience while staying the night is quite high to say the least. By far, the most active of these spirits is the Earl of Bothwell, who after marrying Mary, Queen of Scots, found himself imprisoned by her in the depths of the castle. You may also see a ghost known solely as the White Lady, whose skeleton was actually found in the walls of the castle during renovations in 1930. Last but not least is the Ancient Ram Inn of Gloucester, England, an inn that has changed ownership so many times that there must be some sort of supernatural activity behind it all. According to its historical records, the Ancient Ram Inn was built in 1145 and used by priests to house slaves and workers who were used to build the St. Mary's Church. Spiritual advisors have also indicated that the inn sits on two ley lines, which allow it to be seeped in unexplained energies. For those of you who don't know, the Ancient Ram Inn has also been featured on shows like Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures, showing just how popular it is in the supernatural community. The Witch's Room, for example, is said to be haunted by an old hag who was burnt at the stake back in the 1500s. There has also been a few sightings of a high priestess who screams at the top of her lungs upon seeing any living thing. And there you have it, some of the most haunted places from across the globe. Which are you most interested in visiting though? And which of your favorite supernatural places did we miss out on? We'd love to know, so be sure to let us know in the comments section down below.